The 2018 midterm elections are still more than a year away, but the Democrats are already hoping to flip this House. To do that, they need to take 24 seats from the Republican majority. Midterm elections historically have not gone well for the president's party, most recently in 2006, 2010, and 2014. Now, these losses can be even more big league for presidents with low approval ratings. Quinnipiac poll finds that 54% of voters would prefer a Democratic-controlled House, while just 38% said they want Republicans to remain in charge. It's the widest margin Quinnipiac has ever recorded. One of these seats the Dems are targeting is in New Jersey's 7th congressional district, a district that Hillary Clinton won narrowly in 2016. And joining me now for our first installment of a new segment we call Flip This House is Linda Weber, a banking executive and a Democrat who is looking to take the seat. Thank you very much, Linda, for being here.
Thank you for having me, Joy.
All right, so let's talk about your district first. We have a little sort of a timeline of your district going from 2008 to 2016. One thing that viewers will notice as we go through this timeline is that Republicans have won it every time, although the margin has varied. It's been as much as by 59-46 in 2010, that big shellacking the Democrats took there, and the same thing in 2014. But it's ticking down. It's ticking in Democrats' favor. What makes you think that you can close about a 10-point gap this next year?
So a few things are happening in the district that are important. One is that the district is moving from more Republican registrations. It used to be a +6 district, and it's now closer to a +1 district.
Okay.
We're seeing a lot of turnover. We're seeing a lot of more immigrants moving into the district. We're also seeing that the millennials now outnumber the over 65s, 22 to 17%. So we're seeing some demographic shifts in the district that are important. In addition, you know, November 8th was tough.
Yeah.
It was a tough day for many of us.
Yep.
I was shocked and angry. And what makes it worse and more dangerous is that Leonard Lance, Representative Lance, who is currently the representative in the 7th, and the House Republicans, or actually all congressional Republicans, are refusing to hold Donald Trump accountable. Yeah. And you know, if we in a country where the leader is unaccountable, it's not a democracy.
And Leonard Lance, who you mentioned, who's the sitting incumbent congressperson, you know, he's positioned himself in an interesting way. You know, we've never heard any headlines of him holding Donald Trump accountable or opposing him, but he did vote against the AHCA, the Affordable Health, well, their version of the health care bill, which is incredibly unpopular across the country. He was one of the small number of Republicans who voted against it. Does that make it harder to make a case against him?
I don't think so. He voted it out of committee. It wouldn't have made its way onto the floor if he hadn't voted it out of committee. He voted to repeal and replace over 60 times. People know this. Yeah. As I'm going around the district listening to people, they know, and healthcare is one of the #1 issues. Last night I was at the Relay for Life for the American Cancer Society in my town, and all I heard from people that I was speaking with were their concerns about losing the ban on lifetime caps and losing the ban on pre-existing conditions. And those are two very big concerns of people with either chronic illnesses or acute illnesses like cancer.
Is the issue of Russiagate resonating in the district, particularly, is it something that could actually move votes from the R column to the D column?
I think so, yes, absolutely. People are just devastated that Comey was fired at this point in the process. And the lines between Comey and Yates and Barrara, I mean, it's just so very clear, and people see it. People are seeing through it. Trump overplayed his hand on this one.
So it's an interesting district in that Hillary Clinton won the 7th district, but it is a Republican district in terms of congressional representation. But as we know, one of the big knocks on Hillary Clinton was this closeness to Wall Street issue. You do come from the banking industry. It's sort of a boogeyman industry, particularly to young voters. They see anything with banking as being sort of from the dark side. How do you get over that issue in terms of young voters?
So two ways. Number one, I have a lot of progressive positions. $15 minimum wage, for example, is something I believe strongly in. You know, debt-free state and community colleges is something I feel strongly about and will support and will fight for. In addition, I work for a small bank, not a big bank. I'm not an investment banker. I've done technology in banking, so I'm not a big tweeter, but I have done a lot of technology in my life. And I think that is some of the way that I'll overcome it. I wasn't part of the investment banking problem that we had that led to the recession.
Yeah, if you were in Congress and Democrats took control of the House of Representatives and there was a move to impeach President Donald Trump, would you support it?
Absolutely, 100%.
And based on what?
based on listening the other day on MSNBC to someone read the articles of impeachment against Bill Clinton, and I said, you know what? Every one of those could apply to Donald Trump. He lies consistently. I don't go for the word untruths, by the way. These are lies, in my opinion. And what he is doing to literally tear apart the republic. We're in a constitutional crisis, and no leader should be allowed to do what he has done and get away with it.
And what do you make of the current leadership of the House of Representatives, Paul Ryan and the other Republican leaders? Why do you suppose that they are not standing up more to Donald Trump?
I honestly can't figure that out. Paul Ryan professes to be a Christian, yet supports the legislation that he does and pushes the I mean, I don't understand it at all. There seems to have been a movement over the last few years of really moving towards party over country in the Republican Party.
Yeah. Well, we will see how you do. Linda Weber, good luck. When is the primary?
Thank you very much. The primary is next June.
Okay, next June. So we will be paying attention to that race.